Greetings and welcome to In Depth. I'm Dike Rostant. Now, there's a saying that if you know all of the answers, it is only because you do not know all of the questions. Now, there is an upcoming webinar on job trends within the region, and to speak to it, we have founder and the chairman of Regency Recruitment and Resources Limited, Lara Quentrall-Thomas, as well as Lucinda Pinas, HR manager at Strategic Recruitment in Suriname. Thank you so much for making the time, ladies. And Ms. Quentrall-Thomas, I want to start with you, please, in terms of how does this webinar tie into your keywords, especially we give back?
Good. Hello, and thank you very much for having us. This is really a joint effort by a number of different recruitment agencies in the Caribbean to share information, advice, statistics, trends with job seekers in the Caribbean, so that the goal is to open the minds and the doors to what is possible in the Caribbean in terms of job opportunities. We've heard a lot about people in Trinidad saying they can't find work and there's not any jobs here, which I would dispute because there are lots of jobs in Trinidad. But we want to encourage people through this webinar to think about the region as the opportunities for jobs in Suriname, in Guyana, in British Virgin Islands, and of course, Trinidad and Tobago. So the goal here is to really put the Caribbean on the stage and say, these are some of the trends. This is where we're seeing, as recruiters, opportunities, growth in certain sectors, in certain vocations, to encourage job seekers to think about the region when they're looking for work.
Thank you so much. And Ms. Pinas, I want to ask the same question or a similar question to you in the sense that Ms. Quentrall-Thomas spoke about individuals saying that there isn't work, there aren't jobs, but is it a matter of having people suited to the vacancies that are there? What are some of the experiences that you have with regard to jobs there are versus how they match up with people to put into those jobs?
We do have jobs, a lot of vacancies, but the problem is people are not qualified enough. So the customers who are looking for candidates, they really want candidates with experience, because sometimes people stay in their office for a long time, and then people leave. They leave with everything they know, everything they have learned. So when they are looking for someone, they are looking for someone who have a lot of experience, and that is sometimes hard to find. So when we have young people who just left school, they don't have the experience.
Thank you so much. And that experience versus qualification, sometimes it feels like a real chicken or egg sort of scenario. So we want somebody who has experience doing this. Do you find that gap getting a little smaller because as technology changes, Ms. Quentrall-Thomas?
I think there is certainly opportunities for young people to gain experience, even though they're young. And I totally agree with what you're saying. This has been a perennial problem, right? It's that I don't have the experience, but I can't get the job to get the experience. And we see that a lot. But young people don't understand that, for example, while you're at university, you can work part-time, you can volunteer, you can work in the vacation periods, and all of that will help you build experience. So I really don't think, and certainly that was my life experience, that just because I'm a student doesn't mean I can't at the same time be gaining some experience, whether it's just in a general workspace, a retail outlet, a tourism destination, something like that. All of those skills are transferable. And that's where I think many young people have difficulty understanding that I might be volunteering in my community, in my church, whilst I'm a young person, but I learn skills there that are transferable to the workplace. It's really how you sell that. So you don't have to be working in the same job at 20 that you'd like to be in when you're 30, but you will learn skills that are transferable. The challenge now is that even though there's a lot of vacancies, and certainly in Trinidad, we are seeing, I mean, the volume of vacancies is really huge at the moment. We also have a very large number of job seekers. So the job seeker side of the equation is very competitive. So candidates have to do a bit more work to differentiate themselves in the marketplace. And they have to really understand that they have to be out there working to get work. Even if you're not doing your dream job right now, you know, you get out into the marketplace, you do some work, maybe it's volunteering, maybe it's a trainee position or apprenticeship position, but you start to build your network and start to build your brand as a young professional. So there are tactics to overcome that lack of experience phenomenon.
That reminds me of something a teacher said to me a few moons ago, in terms of you do what you can until you're able to do what it is you want to. And I really like, and I pair that, I juxtapose that with the point you were making about getting transferable skills. But I think sometimes people don't see, they're not able to connect those dots to say, I'm learning this here, or I'm putting in my time, I'm investing in myself. And
Yeah.
I will be able to take this experience to another job, another position, where I want to be on my career path. But Ms. Pinas, who are some of those partners or the participants that you want to be part of this webinar? Who's the ideal candidate?
Who is?
Who are the persons that you want to see at the webinar?
The persons I would like to see at the webinar are students who just left school. I would like them to see even students and even the customers who are looking for people for their office. Because what we also see here in Suriname, when people just finish studying, what they do, they come to our office, we talk to them, we want to offer them a job, but because of the situation in Suriname, they ask a very high salary. And with that salary, when we bring them to the client, the client can't offer them that salary. And they combine the study, they combine the study with, okay, I have done this. Even they don't have experience. I have done a great study, and with this great study, I have to earn a great salary.
I like that point, and I remember one person telling somebody, "You see that piece of certificate you have? You go eat your book, because we can't afford to pay you." But we continue the conversation when we return, and that is something I want to pick up with you as well, Ms. Quentrall-Thomas. Stay with us. We come back with more. Welcome back. We are speaking with Lucinda Pinas, HR Manager of Strategic Recruitment in Suriname, as well as Regency Recruitment Resources Limited Chairman Lara Quentrall-Thomas. And Ms. Thomas, just before we took the break, Ms. Pinas made the point that the webinar is both for job seekers as well as persons who have those vacancies. And I really appreciate that point, because I think there have been instances that we have seen from time to time when people list everything that they want you to do. I'd be like, the only thing you're missing is a firstborn as well, for the person to be able to get the position. So what are some of those things that you're trying to bring across in this webinar, in terms of that will benefit both persons who are seeking job as well as individuals who have that employment?
So the goal of this webinar on Tuesday is to look at some of the trends in jobs and industries in the 4 different countries that we're highlighting. But in addition, and as Lucinda says, I think what will come out of that, and certainly what we intend to focus on, is highlighting some of the soft skills that employers are looking for that are universally required. But you're correct, because it is an employer's market, employers can be a lot more specific or fussy about what they want. It's like opening a bank account in Trinidad, right? It's that kind of, oh my God, 400 things I have to submit. But that's really the employer's prerogative, because they're trying to find the ideal person. As recruiters, our role and our goal as mediators between employers and employees or job seekers is to really try and encourage both parties to be open to dialogue, to negotiate. So a candidate may not have, all the 15 things that you want, but they've got 12 of them and they're strong in a couple of other areas. So our job is to sort of represent candidates, try and encourage clients to be flexible. But in a very competitive job market like the one we're in now, employers do in many ways feel and have the right to say, this is what I want. This is a non-negotiable. So what we want to focus on are some of the soft skills that candidates should think about demonstrating on their resume and in an interview, because those are in many ways what differentiate you. Everybody's got a degree, everybody's got a master's. Those things are a sort of baseline. It's really the soft skills, the leadership, the emotional intelligence. Those are the things that employers now will assess and differentiate candidates on.
All right, so you said it's on Tuesday, but give us an idea of how one would sign up for it, become a part, engage with the webinar. Thank you. And let us know about the cost.
Okay, so first of all, it's free. We like free things in the Caribbean. So it's a free webinar. And we are doing this as a service to our communities. It is on Tuesday, the 28th of March. It's 9 a.m. Trinidad time, 10 a.m. Suriname time. And I'm sure Lucinda can give you their details. But for us, you can go to www.regencytrinidad.com. And the registration link is on that page. Also on Regency's Facebook page, there is both a link and a QR code to register. So you just register, and then on the morning of the event, you'll receive the link to actually join us virtually.
All right, and with that in mind, let's get that information from you, please, Ms. Pinas, in terms of how do individuals be a part of the webinar through you?
Let me see. They can go, our link to join, they can sign their names in. They can go to http://bit.ly/3tcglhp.
All right, thank you so much. And so remind me of the four areas or jurisdictions that are being covered in this webinar, please, Ms. Quentrall-Thomas.
So we are focusing on Trinidad and Tobago, Suriname, Guyana, and the British Virgin Islands. So we are anticipating, of course, there are some similarities. Certainly Trinidad and Guyana have similarities, but the Guyanese energy sector, as we know, is booming. So we're looking to see what there may be opportunities there. Suriname is also experiencing some significant growth in some areas. British Virgin Islands, I think for many of us, is almost an unknown quantity. So it's going to be very interesting to see what kind of job opportunities there might be in the British Virgin Islands. So the goal is to show the different countries, what are the trends, what are we seeing as recruiters, where there are opportunities, declines, growth, what are analyzing some of our data to share with job seekers to encourage them and educate them about what the Caribbean has to offer in the way of jobs.
And that reminds me of the question, the way you said many of us may not know about BVI, but do you think it's more a matter of not knowing what is there outside of your particular jurisdiction, or just not even thinking as far to say, okay, well, possibly I can do something in the region, leaving my specific neck of the woods? What do you think it is why there may not be as much movement of people who have the skills, who have the talent, but just have not gone to where those jobs are in the region?
I think there are certain sectors where there has traditionally been movement, like the energy sector and the tourism sector. I would say those two are probably where you would have seen historically most movement of people throughout CARICOM. But the CARICOM skills certificate is something that, of course, you have to have. So there are only certain categories of worker for whom it's easier to move around the region. And also, we're not seeing, I don't think traditionally we think about the Caribbean as a place to think about. When we think about leaving Trinidad for work, we're going to America, we're going to Canada, we're going to England. We're not thinking about Suriname. We're not thinking about the British Virgin Islands, which is something that we're trying to change that conversation. And of course, remember that in many cases now, you don't have to physically relocate entirely. You can work from Trinidad or Suriname, but your employer's in the Virgin Islands or your employer's in Mexico or Southern California or wherever. So the world of work is changing. That the whole world is now where you can work without ever leaving your bedroom in a sense. But we also do want to think about opportunities for people to move in the region. I think the more people that move and travel and experience different cultures, the better it is for all of us to strengthen those ties throughout the Caribbean, and particularly those of us sort of in the southern part of the region where we, transport is easier. We have a lot of cultural similarities. I've been to Suriname many times. It's a beautiful place. I don't think many Trinis have ever been to Suriname. So, it's an exciting place to put on your list to go and visit.
Yeah.
And we have a minute and a half more. Ladies, I want to start with you, please, Ms. Pinas, and then you, Ms. Quentrall-Thomas. What defines success of this webinar? What do you hope comes out of this webinar that will make you say, yes, it was really worth it?
I think everybody who will join and everybody who will have the guts to make a bridge to another country in the Caribbean.
Okay, thank
And
you.
even we have jobs over here, and if people want to come over, I think employees should know that if somebody wants to move, you have a vacancy and somebody wants to move to Suriname, you have to be prepared to arrange things for somebody who comes from Trinidad. You have to arrange a home. You have to arrange if there are children in the family. If it is a man who have a wife and children is married, you have to be prepared. You have to do those things if you want people to come over.
Thank you. And the final 30 seconds is yours, Ms. Quentrall-Thomas.
Thank you, Dike. So yes, we want to encourage everybody to join us on Tuesday morning, 9 a.m. Trinidad time, 10 a.m. Suriname time. Visit regencytrinidad.com for the link to register and the QR code. And as Lucinda said, this is really about building bridges. This is about exploring opportunities in the Caribbean for Caribbean nationals. We're here as recruiters to support you on that journey. We really hope that you show up and engage us with questions and really join and be part of the conversation about building a stronger Caribbean. And we're delighted to be able to offer this opportunity.
Sometimes all you need is that opportunity. So we want to thank you so much, Lara Quentrall-Thomas, founder and chairman, Regency Recruitment and Resources Limited, as well as Lucinda Pinas, HR manager at Strategic Recruitment Suriname, talking about the upcoming webinar. And on behalf of the entire TTT News team, I'm Dike Rostant. This has been In Depth with me. Thank you so much for joining us.